Damien.
Hello, everybody, and today we are going to be talking about turning form into business, but I also want to go ahead and do a couple of announcements. Roxy, do you know how to mute it?
I do, I think.
Yeah, if you can go ahead and mute real quick. So I wanted to talk to you guys real quick about the Recruiting Dash. If you did not get on Sarah Tri's call and you're watching this back, the Recruiting Dash was sold out, but she opened it up for more people, which is super exciting. The Recruiting Dash is actually something that pushed my business forward. It pushed Amy's business forward. It pushed lots of people's businesses forward that I know. The Recruiting Dash is basically just kind of like a friendly competition where you put money into a pot and you can actually earn money from that pot from just growing your business. And there's different categories that you can win in. It's a lot of fun, but you learn so much good information from some of the coaches on the team. You're going to learn how to grow your business and push yourself forward. So if you really want to push your business forward, I would say get in on the Recruiting Dash. I will post information on our team page about the Recruiting Dash for you guys. So just get in there. And if you really want to push your business forward, it's definitely something you want to do. If you have any questions about it or you need clarification, just let me know and on the team page, and I'll answer any questions that you have, or let me know one-on-one and I'll answer any questions you may have. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the meat of what we're talking about today. And today we are going to be talking about turning form into business and what form means. Basically, form means occupation, recreation, and message. And what that means, basically, form is just learning who you are talking to. For example, I think a lot of times when coaches are new or coaches want to talk to people about a challenge group or anything that's going on about the business, a lot of times we don't know where to start. But the best way to start is by building a genuine relationship with the other person. And just because family, occupation, recreation, and message is there, it's not something that we'll do where we're like, when you talk to people, when you talk to somebody that you first know, you're not like, so what does your family do? What do you do for a job? What do you like to do for fun? I mean, it's not robotic. It's really about building that genuine, real relationship with other people. Roxy, like, for example, as a new coach, what do you think is like the hardest thing for you when it comes to talking to people right now?
I guess just knowing what to exactly say, like I don't want to come off salesy or, that's what I think the hardest thing is for me, but I'm getting better at it.
Yes. And that is a common thing, is coming off salesy. And that is a common thing for new coaches, is they're like, well, I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to come off salesy. And honestly, I don't want to come off salesy either. I don't know how to be a salesperson. I don't know how to sell anything. But one thing that I've learned to do is build relationships with people, is learn about the other person. And people want to know that you care. And the way we do that is by forming. And forming is just a skill. It's not something that you necessarily know right away. And the best way to do it is to jump in and have action towards, like, put in the action towards doing it. And there's so many places where you can meet new people, which is through your groups, Facebook groups, Instagram, all of those places. So basically, form is just a guide to your business of being genuine with other people. So I always tell people, be genuine when you're talking about it. Learn and know about people so that you can learn their why. If you never know why someone's coming to you, you're never, ever, ever going to be able to get them what they need if you don't know who they are. Like, hold on, Roxy, can I meet you again?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So I'm just curious, like, if I don't know if you guys can chat, like, what is being a coach about? Like, to you, like, what is being a coach about to you? Does anybody want to answer?
No, wait. No, wait.
Or can anybody?
Get back. Get back.
Amy said supporting people.
Get back. Okay. Sorry.
Chat box supporting people. Earlier I heard changing lives and then offering an opportunity. So really, mostly what we do is build relationships. And yes, I agree, paying it forward. And what we do is build relationships. Hold on, Roxy. I'm going to try to mute.
Oh, sorry. Can you still hear me yelling at my kids? Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. And I'm having issues over here trying to mute you, so.
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, you're muted. Thank you, babe. Okay, so if you want to build this business, you have to build relationships. You have to build it past your warm market. And what I mean by that is your warm market are people that you already know, friends you already know, people you already know. If you have an amazing warm market, great, go after it, talk to them. But even in the forming, I even believe that you need to have a forming process even when talking to your friends and your family. But if you have a strong why and you want to build this business to a certain level of financial freedom, things like that, you're definitely going to have to learn how to form people and build that relationship. Because everyone on this call who's either listening back to this call or on this call, your coach or whoever you talk to found out your why. You're on this call for a reason. Yes, we're in the business of changing lives. Yes, we're in the business of paying it forward. But why are you on this call today? You're on this call, one, because you want to support your team or you want to grow or you want to be a part of the team. But you're also on here because you have a stronger reason why you want to do this, whether it's to get out of your current job and work your business full time, whether you want to have more time freedom with your family. Those are the big questions. Those are the big things that the big reasons why you're on this call today. And if I didn't find out your why, you wouldn't be on this call. And if your coach didn't find out your why, you wouldn't be on this call. You never would have purchased a challenge pack or you never would have become a coach if your coach didn't figure out why you wanted to do this in the first place. So that is what I mean by it's a skill. You have to develop the skill of learning to meet new people. And sometimes it's really scary to get out there and do it. But I want to tell you guys that you gotta find whatever personal development works for you that's going to help you get out there and talk to other people. A lot of times we don't know how we're coming off to other people. So I want to suggest one of my favorite books is How to Win Friends and Influence People, which completely changed my life. And it's definitely something that I'll probably read again. I read it a few years back and I realized that the way I was presenting something wasn't the way that it was coming off. And I mean, sometimes we still have to take setbacks no matter what, as long as we're growing as people, is to step back and see how we're actually presenting something. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So you always want to figure out like what someone's struggle is before you talk to them. And building that relationship is really simple. So I'm just curious, like, has anyone ever had anybody come up to them and the first thing they want to know is the price of what something is? Amy's raising her hand, yes, that they want to know the price right away. So for me, you guys, even if someone wants to know the price right away, I don't give them the price right away because I want to know why they want to join my group. I want to know why or what they struggle with. I want to know why they're coming to me for help. You know what I mean? Because, and then once you figure that out, I will tell you guys, the better you get about forming somebody, the less price objections are going to come up. They're still going to come up, but the less they're going to come up, the less the time factor is going to come up because you dug deep in figuring out why they want it, how they want it. And for me, the best way to do that is to just slow down. I tell coaches, as soon as somebody comes to you and they're like, okay, well, I want to know, like, how much is it? I really want to do this. Can you tell me the price? I say, slow down, pump the brakes. Just the best way for me to put it is I ask them first. I say, thank you for coming to me. Thank you for coming to me. Thank them for coming to you. Share a little bit of your story. Always ask questions and make sure you're finding their why. So for me, for example, the way that I ask a question when someone comes to me or they comment on my post, I always say, I will send you a private message, because I want to privately get to know that person. I don't want to be spewing prices out on my in the comment section of my Facebook page. I want to genuinely get that person aside and figure out, one, how I can help them, why they're interested, what their nutrition is like, all of the above, okay? So one thing I'd like to say for them, is the best way for me to put it sometimes when I'm doing a message is I say, thank you so much for reaching out. I'd love to give you all the details. But first, I have a few questions to see if this is a good fit for you. Where are you with your health and fitness journey, and where would you like to be? When I ask that question, I always end with a question. So when I ask that question, sometimes I get a long message back stating where they are in their fitness journey, what they're doing, where they want to be. They answer all of that. They might even go into, I don't have a lot of time. I work so many hours. I have to take care of the kids. I have just lots of reasons why they haven't started their journey. And then you have to learn how to overcome that objection. And I feel like the best way to overcome that objection is to then turn around and relate to them. Share your story, share somebody else's story, and say, thank you so much for getting back to me. I can totally relate. Share your story with them. Let them know that they absolutely can reach whatever goal they want to reach. And then the best way is to fit what they need, fit whatever their goal is with it. So for example, if someone has poor nutrition, great. What program do you think is going to work for them if they have poor nutrition? You already have this going in your mind. You're still kind of forming them in a sense. You don't have to say, great, well, I think 21 Day Fix is going to be so good for you. You can always say, well, why do you feel like now is the time for you to get started? Slow down and say, okay, I relate, but why do you feel like now is the time for you to get started on your journey? Okay? And if they say, and that to me is just digging deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, you got their goal, but why are they wanting to get started now? And the reason why you want to dig deep, you guys, is because in the why, there is something emotional there, and you can always tie it back because it is emotional. When somebody is coming to you for help, it's not just superficial and something that's on the surface. I mean, maybe sometimes it is, but I will tell you guys, 90% of the time, it goes way deeper than what they're telling you. For example, like I talked to somebody yesterday and I said, well, why is now the time? What does losing 100 pounds do for you? And she talked about going on rides with her kids and feeling embarrassed that she felt like she couldn't fit in the rides, and she thought her kids were embarrassed of her. She wanted her husband to wrap her arms around her. She wanted to be able to wear shorts and not pants all the time. These are the deep down seated reasons that sometimes these people are crying on the inside for, but if you're not getting that reason why they want that, and you're not getting that emotional why from them, you're never going to be able to give them what they need. So forming not only helps you get to know your customer, but forming helps you be a better coach. It helps you understand people better. It helps you be able to get to a place to where you can do your job. So it really shows that you care as a coach rather than I'm just trying to sell this challenge pack because I need to hit Success Club. There's a difference. So I always say be interested instead of interesting and listen for triggers. I will tell you guys that even after someone has a challenge pack for me, I'm always looking for triggers. because we're not just offering Beachbody, we're offering our services, we're offering our help, okay? And we're offering, like Amy said earlier, to pay it forward. We build relationships, all of those things. So even when someone already has gotten a challenge pack from me, they're in a challenge group, I like to ask questions to look for triggers. Like, a lot of times financial stuff comes up in challenge groups. Like, I ask questions where I want to dig deeper and I want to get to know my challenger even more, because later on that could lead to them building the coaching opportunity. Does that make sense? So like, keep digging. I feel like, so we talk about form in a sense of like, form is just, we want to get to know them to get them to the coaching opportunity or get them to point A to point B. But there's also another step that goes into that. And I also want you guys to start carrying form over into your challenge groups and start asking those questions in challenge groups, not just what's your favorite Shakeology flavor. Those are great questions to ask, or teaching people about Shakeology, but ask questions that may help them dream a little bigger. Ask questions that may help them discover that, hey, I used to want to do this. I used to want to go travel, but I put that on the back burner. And you sitting here in the challenge group asking me that just brought that back up into my life. I totally put it on the back burner. I totally forgot that I wanted to travel after having kids and all this stuff. But hey, you know, then they see you doing these things and they're like, hey, maybe I can do that dream that I had before that I totally forgot about. So forming, in my opinion, never stops. So I just want to know how many people have had, if you've ever had a conversation that just completely died out. And I'm pretty sure that everybody's had a conversation that just completely just died out, and you kind of felt like, they're not responding to me. What happened to them? Where did they go? I want you guys to know that that has happened. That happens to everybody. But one thing that I always say to do, there are so many different ways to form. There's so many ways to keep a conversation going. Always end with a question. Always end with a question. Never end it like, oh, that's great. You know what I mean? Always end with a question, and make sure that you are coming at people with strong language. Own it. Like, own being a coach. Own it. And what I mean by own it is, first of all, take action. Act like you're a coach, even if you don't know what you're doing, because I want you to know that you define your value to people. Your rank doesn't define your value. How much money doesn't define your value. You define your value. And when you totally believe in what you're offering somebody else, you're going to come at people with a different vibe. You want to come at people with an energetic vibe, not an apologetic, I don't want to bother this person kind of vibe. So I know sometimes new coaches feels like, well, I don't want to bug people. I don't want to bother people. But you're not bothering people if you're coming at them in a way of, let me get to know you, how can I help you kind of vibe, or I just want to get to know who you are as a person kind of vibe. When you take yourself out of the equation and you put them into the equation of how you can help them and how you can serve them, or I want to learn about this person because I really like how she dresses and I think I love her shoes and things like that, and you're making conversation, just making conversation, it's a lot easier to talk to somebody. So don't always go into it of, how can I get this person to purchase a challenge pack? How can I get this person to join my team? Go into it of, how can I serve this person? How can I get to know this person? Find something that relates to you and the other person. So I hope this is helping. So just really use strong language when you're talking to other people. And check in on people. So like, let's just say the conversation totally dies out. Has anyone been talking to somebody and the conversation totally dies out? I mean, I can't see everybody, so I guess not. So, hi. So I just want you guys to know that if your conversation dies, keep the door open. If somebody says no, keep the door open And Jocelyn said, yes, she's had the conversation die out many times. Jocelyn, do you have any tips on if the conversation dies, what you do? I mean, you might not be able to chat now, so if not, you can put in the chat box, girl, I can't talk. But anyway,
Hi. Hello.
hold on, I hear something. Marlene, are you able to mute?
Hello.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so normally what I do when it dies out,
Mm-hmm.
I just go to them and ask them how they're doing. You know, like you said, keep be interested, not interesting. So
Mm-hmm.
normally when it dies out, sometimes they just forget that you were having a conversation with them. But you can also just ask them how they're doing, what's going on in their lives. Go on their Facebook and see what's been up with them and ask them about something they did recently. That'll spark up the conversation again.
Exactly. That's right. Always keep the door open, you guys. Just because somebody says no to you, you're still their friend. Just because the conversation died, people get busy, they're still your friend. Keep being a friend to other people. Keep being genuine with other people. Don't count people out just because they said no the first time. Don't count people out just because they didn't get back to your message. You guys, I have people that I've been talking to for about a year who are they're just my friends. They're just watching my journey. And guess what? I'm like, oh, one day they're going to be a coach. And I will tell you guys this, that I have said that many times about other people, and I'm like, one day they're going to be a coach. And guess what? Today they're a coach because I kept the relationship open. I kept the relationship open. I kept the door open, and always talk with conviction. Like, just when you go into something, be confident in it. You're not, you know what I mean? There's just so much that we offer besides challenge packs and everything. We're offering life-changing things to other people. We're offering a serious opportunity. So when you go into it, have the confidence and know that you're offering an opportunity. Don't go into it with an apologetic, I hope I'm not bothering you attitude ever. Okay? Like, I'm telling you guys right now, as a new coach, own it now. Own it now. Just own it. Even if you don't know, just own it. So we kind of went over the whole like price objection thing. Like, if someone comes to you and asks you for price, I've already gone over pump the brakes and just make sure that you're finding that deep down why. You know what I mean? Like, I gave you guys a story about the lady who said that she was embarrassed to go on rides because she was afraid she didn't fit and things like that. But I wouldn't have found that out if I didn't keep asking her questions about herself. Be relatable and share your story, but find out more about them than they already know your story. If they've been following you, they know your story. You don't have to spew a long story about your journey, but share bits and pieces of it. And if you can't share your story and you're not totally relatable to them, share somebody else's story that you know, and keep going. So make sure you're adding value. You're adding value to the lives of others, so add value to your conversations as well. Jocelyn said that person sounds like her 5 years ago. See? And you can share that story with somebody else because you know how that feels. And I can share your story with her because you know how that feels. So be personal, share, be relatable, and find this, and make sure you're finding a solution and inserting the solution. Once you find their why, you have the solution. You can give them the solution once you find that why. So does anybody have any questions on what I mean by using strong language at all? Okay, so once again, like I said, if the conversation dies out, just keep the door open. And that's really all I have so far, you guys. I had a ton of notes, but I feel like I just kind of flew through it. So always approach things with thanks and confidence versus how do I get them to get this challenge pack? Be interested instead of interesting. Find out all you can about them by asking them questions. When you first meet somebody, even if you don't know them, start a conversation, even in the comment section of their Facebook page. Go to their Facebook page, look at their Facebook page. It sounds so stalky, right? But it's not. Like, if you're offering a solution and you want to grow a community, you're going to have to go out and find people. And, you know, with Facebook, Instagram, Facebook groups, it's easier than ever to make this happen. Even when you're approaching somebody outside of Facebook, outside of social media, how do you go up and talk to them? You know what I mean? Do you say, hey, how's it going? So what's your family like? No, you go up to them, you say hello, you might compliment them on something, and you just start a conversation. It's the same thing here. Just be a person and start a conversation. And I will tell you guys, I think it's something crazy, like maybe out of 20 conversations, maybe 5 conversations will turn into Beachbody. So start lots of new conversations. And those 20 conversations that you started that might not necessarily turn into Beachbody right away, guess what? You're sowing a seed. You planted a seed. You planted a seed, and they know you're there. And they're going to be watching, and you're going to continue to be their friend. And who knows, maybe out of the 20, that first 5 may become coaches or whatever, but the other 15, they're there, they're watching, and you sow that seed, and eventually they will come along, or they will ask you a question, or you just built a beautiful friendship, or the start of a great friendship, or you realize, I don't want to know this person, because you don't have to work with everybody. Just FYI, you don't have to, but I just want you guys to know that we're not out there to get people. We're out there to help people. And Jocelyn said, keep it real. That to me is 100%. Just freaking keep it real. Okay? I hope that this helps you guys. If you want me to run down some ways on how to start a conversation even more so, I can. Roxy, would you like me to show you some ways that I start a conversation or anything?
I've been looking through the notes, so I've gotten some ideas.
Okay. Like, for example, sometimes I go on people's like comment section of their Facebook page, and I start talking in their comment section just on their wall, like if they post something and I relate to it, I'll comment on it, and then I'll take it to their inbox eventually and say something like, hey girl, how have you been? I really love the flowers that your husband got you, your husband got you, or something like that. Or I really love the headband that you used to work out. Can you mind telling me where you got it? You know, that starts a conversation.
Yeah.
So just be genuine at first. Does anybody else want to add anything? Amy said, I'll look to see what they're up to and send a message. Like, I saw you just went to Disney. It's so fun. Yeah. See, that is a great way to start conversations too. It's just like, just be relatable to people, you guys. That's the best way I can put it, is don't worry about selling something. Don't worry about those things straight out. But if someone first comes to you and they ask you about something and they ask you price right away, make sure you're still getting that deep down why. I cannot stress that enough, that the why is the most important thing. Because like I said, you guys wouldn't be on this call today if you didn't have a why and your coach didn't ask you why you wanted to be a coach, right? So that's all I have. I wish I had some fancy slides for you guys and some cool step-by-step type things, but I just didn't have time for that. So if you have any other questions or anything, please know that you can reach out to me. Please know that in the team, on the team page in the files, we have so many amazing scripts. We have so many awesome scripts for you guys there that you can make your own. I like scripts, but you know what? They're just a guide. So make them sound like you and not a computer. So thank you guys so much for being on. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.